Welcome everyone to the session. My name is Syed Amjad Hussain and I'm OBU mentor for you guys for May 2026 attempt. Hopefully, most of you have been enrolled with us with VIFHE. So just apologies for the very first thing. I was a bit late, but I was gathering down all the documents so that whenever I'll be explaining something, I have the documents available for you guys and looking into those documents. Okay. In the meantime, if you guys have any question or concern relating to any specific topic area that I'm going to discuss, just ask the question, raise your concern. I'll be surely responding you guys in the meantime. And I'll be making sure that this orientation session is going to be very helpful for all of you. And most probably, this is going to be a very good guide for all of you to make sure that this should be a very easy process for you to complete your OBU thesis. Okay. Let's start with the very first and most important thing, how you can start your project. Okay, before going into this thing, let's start with your background of the OBU project. Okay, so as far as your OBU project is concerned, Oxford Brookes University will give you a BSc degree in Applied Accounting and Finance. And being an ACC student, we are capable of attaining this qualification with a thesis along with our 9 paper that of skills level paper that we have passed, and we need to submit one thesis which is related to any topic areas out of those 15 topics which are provided by the Oxford Brookes University to you students, and you need to focus on any one of the topic to make sure that your thesis would be completed, right? And once you have completed your thesis, you need to submit that thesis to OBU, and then once your thesis will be marked, you will be gaining your Oxford Brookes University degree. This is the last attempt for Oxford Brookes University qualification. And any student who had appeared in this attempt and unfortunately is not able to qualify or pass the thesis, he would be given another opportunity in November 2026 attempt. But remember one thing, November 2026 attempt is just available for those students who had already attempted their May 2026 attempt. Any student who had not attempted their thesis in May is not able to submit his or her thesis in November 2026 attempt. So this should be, or all of you must be very clear about this, that how we would be gauged into it and how our thesis would be marked, right? Still, any confusion till this point, you guys are more than welcome. Just let me know. I'll be focusing on it, and I'll be giving you the idea how we can move further. Okay, just to give you an idea, the 15 different topics provided to you by Oxford University is related to, this is our period 52. 51 was already over. We have already completed this period. Now I'll be moving ahead to period number 52, right? Okay, so before moving further, I would be just considering the topic areas, the research topics available to us. So let me go through that topic: eligibility criteria, question answer, app assignments, draft report, and topic areas. Okay, give me a minute. I would be searching for the topics, research topics, right? Okay, these are the research topics which are available on page number 11. I think you can see it's page 10. Yes, page 11, right? On this page 11, you can find out their research topics available, and the details about these research topics are given as well. This is topic number 1. I'm just going to give you an idea how topic number 1 works and how you need to understand what topic actually means, right? Analyze and evaluate the impact on the business and financial performance of an organization of an aspect of an organizational performance management system. So basically, topic 1 actually asks about the performance management system of a company. You need to evaluate how the performance management system of a company actually works. So this is the main concern area here. when you are looking into the analysis of a company. Remember, as this topic area specifically looked into the performance management system of an organization, so what areas are considered or what you need to focus while preparing your project, that includes budgetary control system, how the budgetary control system works within that organization. Second is costing techniques of that organization, how the environmental performance management works, or how the company is concerned about the environmental performance management indicators for that specific company, right? You must have an access to internally generated information. This is essential for you guys. Remember that. So, as far as any student who is not capable of gaining the internal information, or he's working for that organization, he's not capable of working for this project. Normally, I don't recommend. This is I won't say recommendation. I won't suggest. That's more appropriate word. I never suggest a student to move with this topic until and unless he's working with an organization and he has attained a consent from the senior management of the organization that I would be working on a project with OBU and I need some sort of information to work upon on my project. So if the management is giving you the permission, only then you need to work upon or start working on such sort of topics, because this involves some sort of like confidential information which might not be disclosed to any third party. So make sure before rather like pushing yourself into some sort of problems, make sure before starting any project on topic number 1 or any other topic that requires the internal information for any project, make sure you have already gained the permission from the management side so that you are capable of like managing those things. Just give me a second, just a minute. Okay, apologies. So before working with any of the project that includes topic number 1 or any other topic that requires internal information, make sure you have already gained the permission from the management side that you need some sort of information and you'd be using it. And make sure you would not be breaching the confidentiality clause, being an ethical accountant, right? So this is our responsibility to attain the ethical standards or to maintain the confidentiality prospect of our client. So when you are doing job, so it is important to maintain the confidentiality clause in that case. Okay, so or organization materials for which permission must be given. I think this was already mentioned within this topic area that you must have a permission while publishing that information into the public domain, because whenever you are publishing that information, it was already attained within the public domain. So make sure you are getting the permission before publishing it. Okay, primary data collection may enable you to evaluate the impact, but should not replace sound secondary research. So mainly your focus would be on the primary data whenever you are evaluating the budgetary control system of an organization, the costing techniques of an organization, or environmental performance management of an organization. But still, you need to rely on secondary information. And again, just working on topic number 1 does not exclude the requirement of secondary information, right? So you might need or you have to have rely on secondary information while working on topic number 1, right? So this is the topic number 1. Okay, now one more thing that is like important for us in this aspect, just a minute. I'll be giving you some sort of further information where you can look into other aspects. You can see this. This is a clear-cut picture how you need to, or what are the things that you need to inculcate within your thesis. So this is topic number 1. Okay, and within this topic, what you need to do is the models, frameworks, concept that may be relevant. And this is again not an exhaustive list. There may be others, but make sure you justify your choices. That means you can choose any of these areas or any of these topics that was given in this in this guide, but you can include any other subject areas or any other models to evaluate the performance of a company. For example, as far as this topic number 1 is concerned, you might have to assess the critical success factor of the company's KPIs, key performance indicators, and any other model that is applicable in that situation. You might be looking into types of budgets and variance control system the management or the company is like focusing upon, types of costing technique that include life cycle costing, TAC versus marginal costing, total absorption costing versus marginal costing, or accounting for overheads, or whatever any other model, activity-based costing, or multiple other costing techniques. Environmental performances like SRO and GRI integration reports or SDGs, there are different models that you can apply. Then return on investment or residual income, these are other key performance indicators where you can find out how the company is actually performing. So this is a clear picture how you need to perform or how you need to work upon your project, right? Okay, this was what normally the projects you need to focus upon. Okay, I'm moving back to the topic area where we have started. So I hope you got an idea that how you need to assess the topic areas. Okay, now normally the students focuses on topic number 4, topic number 5, and topic number 8, right? This is where most of the students are interested, and they believe that this is something more aligned with the ACCA qualification. Why? All of these topics are concerned with ratio analysis, right? The easiest way out for the student, I'll be looking into these topic areas later on, but just coming back to topic number 4 and just looking into it, what is topic number 4? Actually, all of these topic areas are very much aligned, just with slight differences. I'll be looking into those differences. So topic number 4 actually is concerned about analyze and evaluate the business and financial performance of an organization which has performed exceptionally poor, right? So you should be, first thing, you should be looking into an organization that have performed poor, and that's very poorly performing within that industry, right? So we are not looking into the industry performance. We are more concerned about the company's performance, right? So you should find out which company is performing very poor over the last 3 years, and with a critical analysis of the reasons for its difficulties. These difficulty means that what are the reasons that results into the poor performance of the company. You got this idea? So topic number 4 focuses on the selection of a company, and the criteria for selection of the company is the company is performing very poor, right? And performing poor in which criteria or in which time period? The past 3 years. That's your criteria. Poor performing company in the past 3 years. This was the criteria for the selection of the company. And what is the criteria for the preparation of your thesis? Within that thesis, your focus would be what are the reasons that results into the difficult performance or the poor performance of a company. So that's how you need to gauge yourself or understand how you need to work on the thesis. Now, you need to focus upon the information that is available on the public domain. That means your reliance would be on the secondary information, not on the primary information. You should be relying on secondary data. Secondary data means the data which is available across public, which is available on the website, which is available on the journals, which is available on the newsletters, which is available on newspapers. So you should be focusing upon the secondary data. You are not relying on the primary data. So good thing is you are not supposed to take permission, right? Because this information is already available on the public domain, and you are interpreting that information and you are using that information for your own research report. So there is nothing that's going to impact you guys or we individuals and how we can work upon this. Okay. So secondly, you must have to justify the choice of an organization. You need to justify why you are choosing an organization. So I'll be telling you how you can justify. Your justification would be within the chapter number 1 of an organization, where you justify why I have selected this company, and if this company is performing poorly, so what were the indicators those tell us that this company is performing poor, right? Or this company is facing difficulty. So that's where we need to explain it. I'll be explaining it in later our topic area, but right now, okay. Then why you consider the performance exceptionally poor? Successful research report will demonstrate a clear understanding of the industry sector and its competitive pressures. So you need to focus upon, you have a good idea about the industry, and once you are working upon, or once you start working on the project, you'll be getting the information, right? So you'll be having a, sorry, any question? Okay, Karen, I think you were unmuted now. Okay, apologies. Okay, good, thank you. Okay. Okay, everyone, apologies. I think we got distorted because of the, like, just a minute, let me, okay, good to go now. Apologies. So, industry knowledge is not something you're not gaining it out. Once you start working on the project, you'll be automatically gaining the knowledge about that specific industry or that specific sector. So you would be having a good grip over all those things. So it's not going to be somewhat, you can say, okay, apologies. So you cannot, you're not supposed to already have a knowledge about that sector. If you are interested in some sort of specific industry sector, just choose that sector. So your interest would be high, and you would have a great impact of the learning that comes while working on this project. So I won't say that you already gained some sort of knowledge before starting working on it. So select an industry, and then within that industry, you can select the company, right? Okay. The comparison to another organization is required for 3 years period. This is where we always have a question that a comparison is always required. So you need to select another company. Okay. This is very important to understand, and I'll be giving you an idea. Once you have selected a company that is performing really poor within that sector, you need to select another company within that same sector, right? And there is no such criteria that whether the company is performing poor or good or whatever. That the another company or the competitor company that was just chosen to ensure that you are evaluating the performance of that company, or you are choosing that company just for the comparison purpose, nothing else. You are just ensuring that you are comparing that company within or with your main company, right? And you are evaluating how poor your main company is performing. So we are least concerned about the competitor company. Is about our main company. So you need to assure that you would be evaluating the main company rather the competitor company, right? Okay. So competitor company was just considered as a benchmark to company. I'll be looking into, or I'll be explaining the competitor companies like concern within the later session. But right now, you need to understand we need to select 2 companies. Okay, everyone, apologies. I think I just got disconnected from the internet. Just a minute. Just a minute. Hope my screen is available to all of you, right? Okay, just give me a minute. Message. Okay, apologies. Let's start. I hope now I am on to all of you. Now let's start and look into those aspects. Okay, I hope you guys are clear that how we need to focus upon the performance of main company, right? Okay, we were about to look into the performance of main company. Okay, now what about topic number 5? I hope you understand topic number 4. Okay, let's look into topic number 4 once again, or we will be looking to topic number 4. Just a minute. I'll be explaining you about topic number 4 a bit more, and I okay. What happens to this one? Why it's not working? Okay, just a minute. Okay, now let's see. This is topic number 5, and you can see that the reason why students prefer topic number 5, because it includes most of those topic areas which have already been or across those topic areas students have already gone through, like analyze and evaluate the business and financial performance of an organization which has performed exceptionally poorly over the 3 periods, with a critical analysis of the reasons for its difficulties. That's the name of the topic, right? Okay, so models, which model you can use for strategic analysis of external environment? You can use pestle analysis or Porter 5 forces model, right? And for strategic analysis of an organization's position, you can use either SWOT model, value chain analysis, or business canvas model. So all of these topics you have already gone through it in your F1 course, right? Accounting and business course, you have already gone through all these topic areas, or to the rest of these business model, you have already gone through these topic areas in either of your course in ACCA. Second, how you can evaluate the financial performance of a company. So you need to analyze the business performance of an organization. That includes pestle analysis, or the SWOT analysis, or Porter 5 forces model, or business value chain analysis, or business canvas model, right? So you need to understand, right? This is where you need to analyze the organization. And when you're looking into the financial performance of a company, you need to focus upon the ratio analysis. For example, ratio analysis of relevant KPIs. So this is going to be the most easiest topic. Oh, I won't say most easiest topic, most relevant topic to the students who have already studied ACCA courses. So this seems to be very much aligned with their interest, with their already gained knowledge. So student prefer because they already have an idea about how these things would be working for them. So it's somehow a bit easier for the students. So that's why I would say to the student that this is somewhat like important for or understandable to the students, right? Okay. Then in the same way, when we are looking for topic number 5, what is the difference between topic 4 and topic 5? You can see this topic is the same one. Analyze and evaluate the business and financial performance of an organization which has performed exceptionally well. This was the difference. It says exceptionally. Topic number 4 says exceptionally poorly, and topic number 5 mentioned exceptionally well. So it's the best performing company across, right? Over the 3 years period, with a critical analysis of the reasons of its success. This says of its critical analysis of the reasons for the difficulties. Topic number 4. Topic 5 says you need to analyze the critical analysis, or you have to provide a critical analysis about the reasons for the success of that company. Topic 5 specifically mentions success of the company. So whenever you are applying strategic analysis, you should be focusing the same PEST and SWOT analysis, or Porter 5 forces model, or value chain analysis, or business canvas model. And for financial analysis, you should be using the ratio analysis or the relevant KPIs. Now, just moving to topic number 8. So let's see. Topic number 8 is analyze and evaluate the business and financial performance over a 3-year period of an organization operating now. This differences operating in a sector that has faced strategic and operational challenges. So topic number 8 is more concerned about the business sector or the business, you can say business sector or business domain. So it's not limited to the organization. It is actually explaining, or it is like something looking into an industry sector specific, in a specific industry sector, which is facing operational and strategic challenges. For example, in last 4 years, your airline industry is facing a lot of challenges, right? Like I think pharmaceutical sector is also facing some sort of challenges. Your IT sector or the information technology sector has faced a lot of challenges. That's a bit more, right, which is related to the AI development and many other areas. But main idea is that these are the sectors which are facing strategic and operational challenges. And within that sector, you have to have selected company. A main company, one of the main company, and one is a competitor company. So you need to select 2 companies, right? You should be analyzing how the main company has overcome those strategic and operational challenges. So what you need to consider, you have to list down all those strategic and operational challenges first. What were the challenges those were faced by that specific sector? So this topic area is going to be a bit more technical and more difficult for the students, right? Topic number 8, where first thing is you need to evaluate what were those strategic and operational challenges they were faced by that specific sector, that specific industry part, right? And then you need to apply, or you need to evaluate how the specific company within that sector, the specific company that you have chosen, has managed those strategic and operational challenges, either positively or negatively, right? Companies try to manage the strategic and operational challenges, but is unable to cope up with that, and for that reason, the company is not performing well, right? One thing. Second idea is the company has effectively managed strategic and operational challenges faced by that company, and the company has done very well in that sector. So you can see those sort of companies, right? And why competitor company was selected? Competitor company was just selected in order to make sure that this competitor company had actually managed, effectively managed those sectors, or how your main company was performing compared to your competitor company. So competitor company has other ways. Again, you need to do the same. For strategic analysis of external environment, you should be using PEST or PESTEL or either Porter 5 forces model. For strategic analysis of an organization position, you can use SWOT analysis, value chain, or business canvas model. Same thing. And you would be using you would be applying for financial analysis, either ratio analysis or relevant KPIs, right? So these are things, these are the ideas that you can use. So topic 4, topic 5, and topic 8, these 3 topics are much more related to the ratio analysis, okay? So this was the very first thing that we have looked into it. Now, just to give you an idea how our project works, I have explained you before. If you have interest in any other specific topic, you can go to the ACCA website, or you could be like looking into, say, ACCA, sorry, OBU Info Pack. You can search into OBU Info Pack 2025, and you'll be getting this link on the top, or this is the link which is from the Oxford University. From here, you can download your OBU Info Pack, and from this info pack, you will be getting more already done and have shown you, and you can like, apologies, you can you'll be getting the same topic. And you can see this is page number 46. Topics are available on page 11 of this document, while you can find out the further details, I think, starting from page number 44, page number 44. So you'll be getting further information on or starting from page 44, right? So if you want, or if you need, if you're going to select any other topic, just let me know. I'll be explaining to you guys how the rest of the topic works. So I think we have very short time span, so I'm making sure that I'm limiting myself to these 4 topics only. And now we'll be looking into how we can move further with these topics. Okay, I think as far as the most important and most famous and most concerned topics for the students are concerned, those includes topic 4, topic 5, and topic number 8, right? We'll be discussing it later on. So any topic you select, first thing, if you are selecting topic 4 or topic 5, you need to find out what were the companies involved into it. Make sure you are selecting the big companies. Don't choose the companies, those were local companies, right? Within your specific countries, there are a lot of companies working upon. Why I'm saying so, the reason is you might not be able to find out data about the performance of a company online. So it's going to limit yourself to your own analysis, while as far as Oxford Brookes University is concerned, OBU requires you guys to give like references about the performance of a company. So it's very, very important for you guys to select big companies, giant companies, globally known companies, right, for your this project. So it's one of the prerequisite for you guys to make sure that you have a successful project going forward. That might include Audi company, BMW, Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, General Motors. There are a lot of companies, those are available here, right? And the most important thing is, first thing, if you are looking into the company, you would be selecting a main company. For example, in this case, it's AMD, and you'd be selecting a competitor company. In this case, for example, I have mentioned Intel, right? So the very first thing is, or the very first file you need to create is an Excel file, right? So how you can create Excel file, or the very first task you're going to perform is you would be downloading the annual reports of both of these two companies. How you can download these reports? So I'll be giving you an idea how we can download these reports. Okay, this is like the document I have already telling you, and you can download it. So first thing, AMD investor relation, right? Just search this one, investor relation page, and it will be showing you this research. And once you're going to open up this document, you'll be finding out that this is the investor IR page for that specific company. And on this IR page, you'll be finding out the financials of that company. I think the financials of this company would be available over here, right? You can see these are the financials, earning release for Q3 2025. And for rest of the annual financial statements, you can like use events, I think. No, financial data analysis, IR, overview, stock analysis, financial information. So you can see financial results or SEC filings. We need SEC filings, Securities Exchange Commission filing. And from this SEC filings, we will be getting the data. For example, 10K is an annual document, and these are the annual documents available to you guys. I think this is 10K annual report. This is another annual report and annual report. You can find out these are the dates on which these annual reports have been published. So you can find out this is related to which year end. Okay, let me check. This is related to annual report pursuant to Securities Exchange Commission. Okay, 10K and 10Q. Otherwise, you might be finding out annual report data or any company that was listed on NASDAQ or US Stock Exchange. So in US, these companies are named as, or these documents are named as Form 10K. And otherwise, in UK or any company that was listed in London Stock Exchange that was named as the annual report, right? So this is the difference. Okay, 2000 annual report for the year ended. Okay, let me check for the year ended which. Where was the year? 2024, 24. 28th June, no, year end was, this is the year end, right? You can get this point, this is the year end. For the year ended December 28th, 2024, right? You got this idea? So it's related to 2024 year end. December 28th, 2024. I hope this might not be visible to you guys. Even I will, it's very difficult for me to look into this one. This is the year end of the company. Okay. Let me zoom it a bit more for the, I hope this is pretty much clear to all of you guys. This is 2024 annual report. Again, this is 2023 annual report. This is 2022 annual report. And you need to download another annual report that is 2022 annual report, right? So these are the annual reports available to you guys, and you need to download these reports for the main company. Again, you need to search for your competitor company, Intel Investor Relation, and okay, let's. So this is investor relation page for Intel, and you can find out the annual reports for Intel company as well. Okay, now moving back to the Excel working, where we find out that we need the 4-year ends of the main company, and I would say the 2-year ends of the competitor company, right? Why I'm saying so, because you need to compare the only most recent year end of the main company for analysis purpose with your main company. Most recent year of competitor company with the most recent year end of the competitor company to ensure how your main company is performing in comparison to the competitor company in the most recent year, right? Okay. Now, if you are evaluating your competitor company, why you need this 2023 year end? Once you're evaluating the performance of 2024 company, you need to analyze how this company has performed compared to the previous year end, right? So Intel performance in 2024 compared to 2023 will give you an idea that which company is doing better. AMD's 2024 year end performance compared to AMD 2023 year end, right? And then you need to analyze which company is doing better in terms of revenues, in terms of liquidity, in terms of solvency, in terms of investor, any like grid you have already identified for the analysis purpose, right? Then you have to look into or for 2023 you need the competitor or the previous year data, that is 2022, and for the analysis of 2022 year end you need 2021 year end, right? I hope you got here. So for this matter, you need to consider these periods, right? Okay. Most important thing is, as we have the attempt that was started from 1st of May. So before 90 days before the submission date, that means like from 1st of Feb, right? I think 1st of Feb, right? Starting from 1st of Feb, any company that has Feb, March, April. No, so it's not Feb, it's March. 1st of March, from 1st of March, where is razor? Okay. From 1st of March, apologies. From 1st of March, any company that has not reported its 2025 annual report till this date, or any company that has reported the annual financial statement after 1st of with you guys, that you can exclude the most recent year end of that company. OBU specifically mentioned that 90 days is available. For example, if any company is reporting data after 1st March, so we can exclude it. We are not going to consider that data. So this is exception we have available. But any company, for example, AMD has already reported its 2025 annual report on 28th of Feb 2026. We have to have made sure that this data would use our 2025 annual, right, must be used in our analysis. That's mandatory requirement. If you're not using it, examiner is going to fail you. So as far as this Excel sheet is concerned, what we need to do for this Excel sheet, let's look into it and now evaluate what would we would be doing in this Excel sheet, right? Okay. So this is related to the Excel sheet. So you need to populate the Excel sheet with the main and competitor company financial statements, 4 years of your main company and 2 years of your competitor company within your Excel sheet, right? So you need to copy the data from the annual report of your company, which was already like downloaded from this from these financials of the company, right? From this financial, let's see where the financials reported. Okay, these are the financials reported. Okay, sorry, but we have something wrong. So these are the financials of the company which were reported here. Consolidated statement of operation. This is the financials of the company. Already to copy the data Excel sheet. Okay. Make sure that you would be using the originally reported data. Why we have downloaded all these financials? Because we need to make sure that we are not using or we're not copying 2023 from 2024 annual report. For this 2023 data, you should be using this annual report. Okay, let's go to the financial statements of this company. This is 2023 data. Again, in 2023 annual report, you will be getting 2022 data, but you should not be updating this data. We would always be considering the original data. There could be any sort of restatement in this section. I think there could be any sort of restatement. EPS was 0.53. What is the EPS here? It's same, but again, make sure that you would be considering the originally reported data. We should not be considering the restated data, right? And for that matter, for example, for 2022 year-end data, you should be going to the financial statements of 2022 annual report. This is the most important or most important thing that you should be focusing on. So this is how you need to work upon on your annual reports, right? Okay, then we have populated the data in your Excel sheet, and for this we need to financial statement of both companies, which we can get from the investor relation page of those companies or from the official regulatory bodies. I think this was not related to most of the cases because most of the big companies have already the investor relation page and you can find out the data. How to populate the data easily in Excel sheet? Let's see how we can populate the data easily in our Excel sheet, just giving you an idea. So this is one of the document, I believe 2004. So I'm going to open it up or download this one into zip file or in a PDF file. Okay, is it downloaded? Okay, let me see. Okay, it's a zip file. I think I need to Control P. I can save this data, save as PDF, and just let me let's create this one. I'm going to download it on my desktop. This is 10K annual report pursuant to this one. I have saved it. Now I have the PDF file available to me, and now let's see how I can. Okay. I'm going to open up this PDF document. You can see this is the PDF document. Okay, where it goes over here. Okay, let's see. So this is the PDF document available with me, and now I'm going to fit to its width. Now this is document downloaded in PDF file, right? You can save it in your directory wherever it is available. And now moving to the financial statement. Now, this is the data, and you have PDF file, right? Now pressing control button, you can see, sorry, alt button, or you can see, just look into the mouse. The shape of the mouse. Now you can see the shape of the mouse. The rectangle, almost you can see this. You are holding alt button on your keyboard. You find, so now your data would be selected till that point you are selecting it, right? If you are not holding the alt button, If you're not holding the all button, it's selecting the rest of the. You can see the rest of data or these numbers have already selected. I'm just going to copy this data and paste the data. Apologies, everyone. What happens? I hope my screen is visible to you guys. Apologies, I got disconnected. Okay, now. Okay, now I have already copied this data from the Excel, from the PDF document, and I'm going to paste this data with an Excel sheet. Now in this sheet. Now let's see. As I've pasted this data, you can see the data shown in Excel file is some like this, and it's very difficult to interpret data further. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm using the alt technique. Now I'm going to press this alt button, and I can see the mouse or the cursor has a rectangle on it, and now I'm going to select this data, right? So I have selected, and I'm going to copy it. And now I'm pasting it in this Excel sheet. Now you can see how clean and how smooth this data is within my Excel sheet. So this is going to be very easy for you guys to copy the data from your PDF file into your Excel file. And now you can see I'm going to copy these numbers, right? I'm again holding this alt button and I'm selecting this data. You can see I have selected this data, and I'm going to copy this data into this Excel sheet, right? Now pasted. Now these are like this 48 negative signs were there, so I can delete this one. I can delete this one as well, and now I can move the data upwards, and this is going to be very easy for me. And I think it's going to be far more easier for you guys, and it saves a lot of your time, right? Now this is 48, and I can make it, or I can make a negative sign for it. And what was the other value? It's 92, right? So I can make it 92, right? This is how you can select the data, or you can gauge your, or update your Excel sheet easily, right? So this was how we need to populate our Excel sheet. I hope this is going to be very easy for you guys now onward. This was what we have already looked into, how we can populate the Excel sheet, right? Once financial statements are populated, then we should decide which ratios we should be using for our thesis. Okay. Now, what were the ratios, or what ratios we can select? Now let's go back and see that I would suggest a minimum of 9 ratios and a maximum of 12 ratios should be selected for your thesis. Minimum of 9 and maximum of 12 ratios that you need to select. Okay, what would be the ratios? You have 4 grids of your ratios. One is related to profitability. In this profitability index, you can select either 2 or 3 ratios, right? I have given you example: revenue growth, gross profit, net profit, operating profit margin, return on capital employed. There are a lot many ratios are available under the head of profitability section. So you can select any of the ratio, right? Then there is another ratio, liquidity section. You can select current ratio or quick ratio, both ratios in that section. Then ratio, debt to equity ratio, debt to total assets ratio, debt and equity ratio. A lot of other ratio that you can use in this solvency section. Then you have investor ratio, that includes EPS, DPS, price earning ratio, or any other ratio that is related to the investor's prospect, right? So you can select a minimum of 9 ratios and a maximum of 12 ratios, because we have a word count limit of 7,500. So we need to assure that we are not breaching this specific word count limit, right? So this was what we have right now with us. Once you have selected those ratios, you need to calculate those ratios within your Excel sheet. So when you are calculating ratios within Excel sheet, you should be using the formulas. So OBU is actually looking into your ability, how technological advancements you're looking into, or how you are capable of of doing or working with the advanced technologies or with the Excel sheet, right? Then once the ratios have been calculated in Excel sheet, you need to create graphs for all the ratios, right? So we have to create the graphs. I'm giving you one example and I'll be moving on. After this, we need to, we are done with the Excel. Once we are done with these graphs, we are done with the Excel sheet. So Excel sheet was complete. Now, let's see. I'm actually copying the data over here. I'll be just giving you an example to make sure that we have been doing the ratio calculation part easily, right? Okay, I need to delete this data. I think this would be 0, and this is 34, and this is again 401. Then we have 106, then we have 197, then we have 492, right? Okay, and I'm going to delete this whole data. Okay, 34, this should have a negative sign, 92 minus, right? And I'm going to copy the rest of the data. I'm just giving you an example. So I'm just I'm just using the data from this PDF document for 3 years. So assure that you should be using or updating the data from the relevant sites, right? It's minus 1 or 2. Then I have 1264. Then I have minus 88. Then we have 8, and then we have 1184, right? And I'm going to delete the rest, right? Now this is 2024, this is 2023, and this is 2021, 22, apologies. 2022, I'm not going to consider 2021 data, I'm just considering these year ends for our project, or just for that matter. Okay, right? So now I'm going to create, or I'm going to calculate the revenue growth, right? So for revenue growth, I need to assure what would be in 2024 year end, what would be in 2023 year end. Okay, apologies, 2023 year end, and what would be for 2023, right? I think for 2022, I need to consider something. This is revenue, net revenue minus previous year revenue divided by previous year revenues, and okay, and I need to put parentheses before and after this, and I have calculated this ratio. Okay, is it fine? Yes, but as I need to know, I know it that this is a percentage till 2 decimal places are calculated, and then we have calculated this one, revenue growth, and I would be looking into my financials. What was the revenue of 2021? I have already found it. So for 2021, the value would be this one, and then you can see the ratio is already calculated there. It's 43.6. So these are the revenue growth values for main company, right? I would say revenue growth. I am going to merge these cells, and okay. Revenue growth, right? This is for the main company and the comparative. So comparative company. So you need to calculate these ratios in the next sheet, in this sheet. Okay, how you're going to calculate? Let me copy this one and paste. So this was revenue growth. You can see this data was already sourced, or already it was cloud from here. How you can calculate this? Let me give you an idea. Just hit equal button, move to this sheet, this value minus this value. You can see the formula. It's referring sheet number 2. This is sheet number 2, right? And then divided by again the previous year data, and I'm going to close out the parenthesis brackets. Okay, and now you can see this was, so now you can copy it and paste for these 2 years. You can see automatically this data was referred from sheet number 2. You can see this, it's already referred from this sheet number 2, right? If I'm going to rename this sheet, rename the sheet financials main company. Now you would be looking into that. The reference was already updated. You can see this financials main. Financial, this is the name of the sheet, right? So your formula will automatically be updated. So this is what examiner is actually looking into, how you can apply those formulas within the Excel sheet. Okay, I'm just for reference purposes, I'm just mentioning a data on dummy basis that the competitor company ratios was somehow okay, somehow something else. I'm not going to go into much details, just making sure that I'll be using this cost of goods sold data for that company, right? Okay, now what happens to this? You can see these are the ratios, right? Or these are the ratios for main and competitor company, right? Okay, now the next task was to create a graph. From this insert tab, you need to insert a graph into this one. You can select any of the graph. I would say I'm inserting a graph into it, any sort of graph or any other graph. I think what graph I have selected, it's this one graph. Okay, fine. Now this is a blank graph in front of you. How you can populate this graph? You need to just right click on it, and this is the name, this something tab named as select data. From this select data, you need to give a range to this one. Range was this thing. Now, this has already created some sort of values, or this have gathered some sort of value for you guys. And if you're going to hit this one, this is somehow this thing. The data was somehow shown in this way, but I don't need it. I'm just going to give it a command, select data, and from here I would be giving him a command that this is the data I need. And for this prospect, I need these values. I need to create my own data. So legend entries means series name. Series name would be the main company, and series values include these three values, right? And I'm going to give it okay. I need to add another legend entries, and the series name would be the competitor company. And I need to select data for or values for the competitor company includes these values. I'm going to hit this okay. Now you can see there are 1, 2, and 3 rows, but I know these values are related to the year end. So just hit this edit button and give him values of these year ends, right? And then hit OK. Now you'll find out these are 2024, 23, and 22 years, right? And just hit OK button. Now you can find out the data very clearly and very in a very smooth and slight way. This should be a very like clear data for you guys. And if you want to like change the attributes of this data, you can either change the graph shadows, chart text options, anything, fill option. You can choose any one or any color scheme you want to. For example, you would be using any other color. I'm going to use this one, the background color, this gray color, and any color you want to, right? And if you want to select border colors, solid colors, whatever you think, this is how you can give a presentation of your chart wherever you want to, right? Okay, then this title of the chart would be revenue growth, right? And I'm going to copy this one, revenue growth, and I'm going to give the title of this chart as revenue growth, right? So this is revenue growth chart. And then I have to, if I need to add some other titles, so I can add those titles. You can see this, right? I need to access values. So you can add those access values. You have to add chart title on top or anywhere. So I have already added chart title. Labels, you can add these labels at the end, inside, outside end. So this is how these values would already presented in your chart sheet. You might have table bars with legends. You can see this one, row legends. So this is up to you how you want to present the data. So this is how it actually shows the main company data. And whenever you're going to change the company name, main company, it would be automatically updated into your graph. You can see this, right? So this is how you need to graph for your company. You need to create the graphs for your companies. Easy way, easy workaround for you guys to update your Excel sheet. Apologies, everyone. So this was what we need to perform. Apologies, everyone. I'm having a cup of tea. If you were with me, I'll be surely offering you guys a cup of tea, but unfortunately, a virtual cup of tea can be offered, but unfortunately, no physical cup of tea. And this is, I think, apologies for you guys, to you guys all. But again, I hope you guys understand how easy it is for us to create the graph or the data. Whenever you are doing anything within your graph, it would be automatically updated in your graph once you have linked it, right? And whenever you are copying it, it will be automatically replicated, right? Okay, we have a question here. Yes, exactly. Yes, for each ratio you have calculated, you need to create a graph. This is for every growth. For example, if you are calculating another ratio with the name of net profit, right? And net profit, sorry, net profit. Now, apologies, spelling mistake. So you need to calculate the ratios. Okay, now I'm going to calculate net profit margin ratio, right? And net profit margin ratio would be, I think, in terms of net, this is net profit margin, right? So net profit margin is 0.7%. This was what, and I think I need to calculate the same one over here. I think this is what we have calculated, net profit margin, right? Now, as you need to create another graph, so just copy it and paste it, right? So you have already copied and pasted the graph. This would be very easy for you guys, right? Okay. Now, first thing, I need to change the head of that graph or the label of that graph. And again, what I'm going to do, as you need to align the formatting of your graph, just copy and paste data. Again, just hit this select data. So you already have this selection. So I'm going to change the range and I'm going to give him this range. Now, this is the data, right? And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to create my own values now. Series name would be the main company, and values of the series would be now these values, not the revenue growth values, right? Okay. Then I'm going to hit OK. I need to add another series with the name of competitor company, and I'm going to give him these values, right? And I'm going to hit this OK. Then I need to give him the access labels as these values. Just hit OK. Now you can see your graph is automatically updated with the same credentials, with the same formatting. So you're not supposed to work on each graph every time. So once you have done your work with the main graph, it would be very easy for you guys to create the rest of the graphs, right? So you can see this. If you are selecting this, you can see this was the graph, and you're going to select this one. You can see this is the graph. So data was automatically aligned, automatically visible to you guys. Okay, there are other options for you guys. From here, you can select any of the values. This is up to you, but this depends upon whenever and how you want to present your data. But again, all the ratios you have created, you need to make sure that you have to create the graphs for those ratios. Minimum 9 ratios, maximum 12 ratios, right? So this is something we have a benchmark for us. Okay, once you're done with this graph, your Excel sheet is over. This is the most important sheet or the very first task when you're working on, right? Okay, then the next sheet would be, or the next file is research analysis report, right? Research analysis report is basically including 3 main chapters. I have already provided an explanation of all these chapters. Now let's start with chapter number 1. Now, this is going to be your Word file. So chapter number 1 is related to, okay, where it goes, where it went. Okay, let me, okay. So this was chapter number 1. Within this chapter, you recall, I have already mentioned, you need to provide justification about the company for topic 4 and topic 5, for topic 4 and topic 5, why you have selected that specific company, how you consider that this company is doing exceptionally well, or you are considering that this company is doing exceptionally poor. You got this idea? So where we need to mention that the company is performing very well or very poor. Secondly, for topic number 8, you need to provide the justification that this specific industry is facing the issues related to or strategic and operational challenges. Topic number 8 is specific to the operational and strategic challenges. So within this chapter number 1, you should be justifying it. Where will be justifying? I'm telling you later on. But you need to recall that thing we have already discussed once we are discussing the topic areas. We have already find out that what was the specific area. We need to mention that this is the topic area, or this is the topic area, or why we have selected this topic, or this company, or this industry, right? Okay. So chapter number 1 is named as an introduction chapter, right? Make sure these headings are provided for guidance only. You should be using your own heading, right? Students should create their own headings that accurately reflect the content of their project. That's a precaution and very important note for you guys, okay? So section number 1, in which you should provide a project overview. First thing is your motivation, project selection. What was the opening, which is named as an opening statement? What is opening statement? Why I have opted for this, or how I had opted for this OBU project. This is about yourself, right? You should be providing some sort of guidance, how you finally started your ACCA, and why you find out OBU being the most prestigious qualification, or most well-equipped qualification for you guys. So this topic is, or this first para is all about you guys. And apologies. So you should be explaining how you have actually started your thesis. This is about yourself. And the word count for this specific heading should not be more than 120 to 150 words. Should not be more than 120 to 150 words. So you need to make sure we have a window of 7,500 word count limit. We're not going to exceed it. Okay, just a minute. I'm going to open up this Excel sheet in which I've already given you an idea about Excel file. You can see we have these 3 chapters. Chapter 1 is related to the introduction. This chapter should not have more than 900 words. Make sure if you can write chapter within 900 words or less than 900 words, it's perfectly. But don't go beyond 900. And chapter number 2, in which we would be providing basic explanations of the models, basic models, right? Financial model, pest analysis, ratio analysis, Porter-5 forces model, or business canvas model, or any other model that we are going to use, or we have planned to use in our project. Remember, chapter 1 and chapter 2 are the easiest chapters. Chapter 3 is the main difficult chapter, where you need to analyze your main and comparative companies, right? Okay, let's see. So your chapter number 2 should not go beyond 1,850 words, or I would say 1,800 words only. I'm pretty much sure that you guys can limit yourself to like 1,600 words for this chapter number 2, but make sure you should not be going beyond 1,800 words, right? And the remaining word count should be added up in chapter number 3. So we would be leaving most of the word count for chapter number 3, where we would be actually doing the analysis, right? One and most important is that you need to remember while working on chapter number 1 and chapter number 2 that most of the students find out that we need to complete the word count, right? When you start working on chapter number 3, you'll find out that we are left with very little word. And chapter 1 or chapter reduce the word count, then it's going to be in the very first instant. you would be planning your project very well. It's part of your planning process. So you need to plan out how I'm going to manage the word count. I have already told. Okay. Chapter number 1 that we have just discussed, that we need to limit ourselves to 900 words, right? Okay. Within chapter number 1, to provide the opening statement, then you need to provide idea behind the selection. Topic 4, topic 1, topic 8, whatever the topic you have selected, you need to explanation. You need to provide your academic background, your interest, career goals aligned with the chosen topic, whatever that is. Your topic will help you develop essentials for the future career. Your count should be more than around 150 words. Then you need to provide what is or have or what company you have selected. You should be providing the justification in relation to that specific topic. Justification for the selection of company in case of topic 4 and 5, while you should be providing a justification in relation to the selection of industry. With respect to number 8. I hope I have already clarified this, right? So, exceptional performing company, poor performing company, or the sector which is facing strategic and operational challenges. You have the selected company and as a top performer company in this industry, or as a poor performing company within the industry, or the industry sector facing strategic and operational challenges, and why the competitor company is a suitable benchmark. So you are not supposed to just justify the main company, you are supposed to justify the competitor company, right? These two are the most important characteristics when you are just providing justification for your product. I hope these guidelines will give you a very clear idea how you need to move forward. So you clearly state the purpose of comparing both companies, why you're comparing, and the word count should not go beyond 150 words. Make sure we would be limiting ourselves to the lower threshold, not to the higher threshold, which is 170. So I'm not going to consider these word count. I'm just going to consider 120 words, 150 words, and 150 words to make sure that we have much more word count left for us. Then you need to create a research focused objectives and research focused questions. So what is research focused objectives or research objectives? Objective means what you are planning to achieve within your project. So if you want to evaluate the exceptional performing company, so research objective would be, I am going to evaluate how exceptionally this company is performing in profitability terms, how this company is performing exceptionally well in liquidity terms. And when you are comparing the company, or when you are evaluating a company that is performing poorly, like topic number 4, so in that case, your objectives would be, I am going to evaluate the performance of a company, how well or how exceptionally poorly the company was performing in terms of profitability, in terms of liquidity, in terms of solvency, in terms of business analysis. So this would be objective. So research question would be, what were the reasons the company has performed poorly in terms of profitability or in terms of solvency? So research question is practically a question what you are asking yourself, that what I need to answer in chapter number 3 in order to make sure that I am completing my. So once you are asking your questions, within that you have already developed in chapter, you would be automatically completing your project. So when research question is one of the most area we need to align yourself and make sure that these are the projects we will be considering. Okay. Then the last thing is your research methodology. What does research methodology means? Research methodology means what was the process that you have followed in order to make sure that your project would be completed, right? Again, I'm telling you, Apologies, guys, once again. Unfortunately, internet connectivity issues I was facing. Unfortunately, why I'm not sure today. Okay. I hope you got the idea that we will be considering about the research process, and we'll be mentioning how we have finally completed our project. So these are a few of the things. So you need to explain a selection of industry and the main company and how you have what methods you have deployed when collecting the data, how you have downloaded the finance, how you have gathered the information of these financials within your Excel sheet, and all rest of the things, right? Again, this specific paragraph was normally suggested to be completed once you're done with your project. You need to make sure that this paragraph would be completed once you are done with your project. Okay. Okay, apologies. Okay, again, make sure if my voice is not clear, just ping me out, right? So I'll be making sure internet connectivity would be okay, again, if there's still issue, I think now it's right now, as of now, or still there is an issue. Anyone?
So
My
still
voice is
there
clear
are
to all of you, right? Still distortion? There is
yes,
still
sir.
distortion, right? Okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, everyone, apologies. I think my voice is now clear to all of you, or still it's making problem. Yes, I'm trying to. I was trying to fix it. Apologies.
It's better,
Am I
sir.
audible to all of you? It's better now. Okay, let's start. Again, I think we were done till chapter number 1, or there is any confusion left till chapter number 1. Fine. Okay, move on. I'll be moving to chapter number 2. I have already mentioned that there are 3 basic chapters that we need to assure that we are done with. Now moving to chapter number 2. So what is chapter number 2? Okay, give me a second. Chapter number 2 was related to the application of models. I think within Excel sheet, we have already mentioned that chapter number 2 is related to basic explanation of the models. Now let's see how we can explain these models. Okay. So chapter number 2, again, the following headings are provided for guidance only. Student should create their own headings that accurately reflect the content of their project. So these are just for understanding. Introduction about this chapter is, again, this chapter is related to somehow how you would be applying the data and information in this case. But again, first thing is types of data, what is primary data and what is secondary data. Then you need to mention about the sources of secondary data, because for chapter 1, for topic 4, 5, and 8, we need to assure that we would be relying on secondary data. So it's really important to explain what secondary data is. In case if any of the student is working on topic number 1, then he must have to explain the primary data in much more detail, right? While the focus on the secondary data would be a bit limited. While as far as topic 4, 5, and 8 are purely concerned about the secondary data, about the secondary data, then we have to assure that we would be explaining what secondary data is and what are the sources of secondary data, right? For example, annual reports, journal and articles, business magazines, newspapers, websites, and a lot of other like sources, right? Then you need to provide the data collection constraints and updates. What were the limitations of collecting data, or what are the limitations of secondary sources of information? You need to provide some sort of examples. Then moving further, you should be providing an explanation of, you are not supposed to mention these things. This was just for idea purpose. You're not supposed to, okay? Then you would be providing a definitions of your business models. For example, you are applying SWOT and past analysis. You should be explaining, you should be defining what these models are, right? Okay, this just to give you a heads up before this, just try to make sure that if you are defining what is SWOT model, what is SWOT model, for example, I'm just making sure that I'm opening Word document for you guys so that we will be like doing the examples in the same time as well. Okay, let me open the website over here. So I'll be mentioning what is SWOT model, right? So I would have a lot of websites on which this SWOT model was already explained. For example, I'm opening up this SWOT analysis, this attack target website, right? Okay, let's open it up. Okay, on this tag target website, you are provided the complete definition or explanation of SWOT model. You can see if you're going to read out this, you can find out that the information was given over here, right? Okay, now because you are referring the information that you have gathered from another source, that source is this one. So you need to add this or refer this source within your Word document where you are defining SWOT model, right? And in this SWOT model, you were like mentioning how this works. Okay, again, one more thing. You would be applying over here the business analysis. So once you are mentioning the business analysis, you should be making sure that you are applying these headings. You can see these headings. Okay, I'm clicking this. This is the heading. SWOT model is heading number 2, right? And within that SWOT model, I'm providing the definition of SWOT model. Suppose, what is the definition of SWOT model? Okay, what is this? What is the definition of the SWOT model? SWOT analysis is a framework identifying, analyzing weaknesses, opportunities with this acronym, right? I'm going to paste this thing here, and I just want this nothing. Okay, this is okay. I'm just copy and pasting data from their website directly to make sure that all of you are aware that you should not be copying and pasting data, because this is straight plagiarism. You would be explaining this in your own words. You would be writing this in your own words. And then because you have like referred it from this website, or you have gained the knowledge about SWOT model definition from this website, you need to refer within your project, right? How you can refer it out? So as we have mentioned this definition, just move to this references tab, right? And under the references tab, you can see there are referencing styles available within this drop-down list. You need to select Harvard Engineer, right? This is the referencing style that was provided by Oxford Brookes University. Select this one and then hit save button. Now this was automatically saved. This referencing style was saved then, right? You need to save this document at a location where you want to. And now you need to add reference. How you can add reference? You can mention this add new source. Just click this one and you can find out there's a dialog box opened up, right? In this dialog box, you are referring data from a website, So as we are referring data from website, so we would be looking into first thing, this would be the URL of that website, and it should be updated in this part, right? So we have updated this URL. Then you need to mention who is the author of this website. You can see author was mentioned here by Alexandra. I'm not sure what is the name, Alexandra Glace or whatever the name is, right? You need to copy it and you need to paste this reference over here. Apologies, why it's not copying the name. Copy it and it's not pasting, right? Okay, I'm going to type it. Alexander, A-L-X-E-N. Sorry. Alexander S. Gillis. Right? So this is the name of that author you have updated, right? Okay. Then you need to update the name of the web page. What we are going to do, and don't select this corporate author. Make sure you are not supposed to check this box. Never. Don't do this. Then name of the web page, and name of the web page would be this. What SWOT analysis, definition, examples, and how, right? So I'm going to update this over here. Then year in which this document or this website has published this data. That was April 17, 2025. Those year is 2025. So you need to select this year, right? So I'm going to select 2025. The rest of these three boxes are related to you when you have access this website. So we have access it today. It's 2025. Month is December and day is 14th, right? Just hit OK, and your reference was already updated here. You can like edit that citation or edit that source. Apologies, the dialog box once again opened up. And if you have updated that source from some sort of annual report, for example, I have updated, for example, I have updated some sort of information, just a minute. Right? I think if there is any strengths mentioned here, I believe there should be. There should be some sort of strength. I need to mention strength. I have wrongly mentioned strengths. Okay, just wait. Okay, I'm going to mention strength. Okay, you can see this is the product strength list. I have updated these strengths from here in my Word document. I'm going to mention strengths, right? And as these are the strengths, I need to give it its SWOT model first part strength. So you can see this was heading number 2. These are the strengths. So I make name test heading number 3, right? So you have made an entry and you have like updated the data over here. Now, as these strength information was taken from the annual report, from this annual report, and it's page number 17, page number 17. So let's see how I can update this over here. So you need to add the source here, right? This dialog box again opened up when you are, okay, let me show you. This is one reference I have already updated. Now I'm going to add another source. And as this source is related to the report, so I need to select report. Who was the author? Author was AMD. Like AMD INC. This is the company that has published that report. The report name is Form 10K, right? This is the name of the report. Year was 2024 year end. Publisher was again AMD INC, right? And what was the city of that AMD? You can see it's page number 17, right? So either I can move to the page number 1, and it was mentioned. No, it's not mentioned here. What is the city of this company? AMD. You can name it as AMD. You can name in the Excel sheet as AMD Advanced Micro Devices INC. I'm going to update these things. And city was in which the head office of this company was registered pursuant to section this B, and the city of this company would be where it's registered under. It's the stock exchange. No. Okay, this is I think this is the address of the company, right? I think this is the address of the company. I think yes, this is the address of the company. State registration of incorporation, Delaware, right? This is the state where the company was registered. Incorporated organization, right? Okay. Now I need to mention this in this section, Delaware, right? And I'm going to hit OK. Now you can see this was already updated. But again, I think the name was very much lengthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again make sure that it should be AMD INC. Just updating this author name as AMD INC. I'm going to hit OK. Now, just see, because this data was taken from the annual report, so I need to refer on which page this information is available. So this information is available on page number 17, right? Just select 17 here, update 17 here, and hit OK. You can find out P.17. Now this reference is complete. Okay, let's see. And I'll be going back to page number 17, from where we have actually taken this information. Strengths, I think this was the para from where we have selected this information, right? Okay. Now, this reference was now updated, right? And most of the time, either you are updating the data from annual report, or you would be updating the data from the website. So there is no other third source you would be looking forward. So this is what you need to focus upon, and you need to add the references. Okay, now the most important thing is why I am asking you to update these headings here, right? Why you are updating these headings, right? Okay, these headings will help you insert table of contents here. Just under the references tab, this is table of contents, and once you're selecting this, you can find out that your table of content was automatically updated. For example, I'm going to move this data on page number 2 or page number 3. As you can see, the table of contents shows page number 1, right? I'm just going to make sure that update table, update entire table. Now you can see the page number was automatically updated. Okay, suppose I would say that I'm moving this data to chapter number, sorry, table, page number 3, and I'm updating strengths or chapter number 4, right? Now I'm going back to this table of content, and I'm going to make sure that table of content was updated. Now you can see page 2, page 3, and page 4. It's automatically updated. So, like, updating these headings will help you create table of content clearly and very concisely and specifically without going into much hassle. So this is a shortcut for you guys, and why these headings would be updated in this section. I thought I have given you most of the information about this specific section. Now, why I have mentioned these things in chapter number 2, I have not mentioned this in chapter number 1, because chapter number 1, most of the time you're not supposed to update the references there, right? So references were updated in chapter number 1, just limited to this section where you were providing like justification. This justification, where the justification goes, justification, this justification about the selection of the company and the competitor, right? So this was the main idea, or this was the main part where we would be focusing upon. And in this specific company selection part, you need to add references, or anywhere else you find out that I'm using the information, or I'm using the information that was already gathered by someone else. So for that matter, I'm referring it within my report. So reference would be used at that stage, right? Okay. Then once you are updating the SWOT model definitions, so you should be adding just the definitions in this section, nothing else. In chapter number 2, you will be providing what are the definitions of these models, like SWOT, what are the strengths, what are the definitions of strengths, what are the definition of opportunities and threats, and what are the definition of best model, what is the definition of best model, what are political factors, economic factors, social factors, and like technological factors, limitations of best model or SWOT model. Make sure you are adding limitations of both the models. Once you have defined SWOT model, you should be providing the limitation of that model, at least 3 to 4 limitation minimum, and each limitation with the reference, right? And then you have to provide the best model definitions, and then you need to provide the limitation of test model. Now let's see. Once you're done with these models, you need to provide the definitions for ratio analysis part, right? Ratio analysis part, you should be updating what were the ratios. You need to provide the definition for the ratios and their formulas or calculations. Limitations of analysis. This is what you need to provide, right? Okay. Your chapter was completed, chapter number 2, and make sure these word counts should be limited to, I already told you, 1800 only, right? This was what the benchmark with us we have. So go beyond. Apologies, everyone. I know. Apologies. I got the idea. Okay. Apologies, everyone. I'm not. I don't know why my like Wi-Fi connection was like connected to another connection. If I'm going to forget it, then I'll not be able to connect it again. So right now, I'm just trying to make sure that if I would be losing the connection, it would be, now it's doing perfectly well. I'm not sure what's happening with it, but right now it's giving me a good speed. But again, apologies again, everyone. Okay, let's go back and discuss where we have left. Chapter number 2. Anyone has any question till this chapter number 2? Anyone? Right now, any question? Okay. So we have. Do we have to mention references for every single definition provided in chapter? Yes, you are supposed to. Yes. To each and every definition, you need to provide one reference. And on top of it, for everything you are taking from a website, you need to provide a definition. For example, you have provided definition for SWOT model, and you need to understand what were strengths, what were weaknesses, what were opportunities, and what were threats. So you need to provide the reference for all of these four as well, right? So this is how, again, you need to understand why references were required by OBU. OBU want you to do in-depth analysis. Your analysis should be way in detail. So how OBU or Oxford University examiner gauge that you did in-depth research or analysis, that was the tool that is going, the examiner is going to use is the number of references you are updating, right? Yes, these documents have already been shared with you guys over the portal. These are already available on the portal. So if you're going to access these documents, these are already available on the portal. I have already provided these on the portal, right? So don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, let's move. Any further question till the chapter number 2, if we have any? Do we have any question? I'm assuming that you guys don't have any further questions. So I'm moving to chapter number 3, right? So chapter number 3 is again the most important chapter for you guys. And I've already told you that this is the chapter where you would be like, you need to spend a lot of time, right? Chapter number 1 was pretty easy. Chapter number 2 was again easy. You just need to provide the definitions of the ratios and the models, while chapter number 3 is the most technical and most difficult part. You can see that. Okay. Now, as we have already mentioned, that remaining the word count would be allocated to just chapter number 3. So chapter number 3 was divided actually into 3 main parts. One was the business analysis, second one was the ratio analysis, and third one was conclusion and recommendation. So your business analysis, including both SWOT and PEST analysis, should not go beyond 1200 word counts. Make sure SWOT model has 600 word count and PEST model has 600 word counts. You got this idea? So each model you are applying for, again, ensure one thing, this SWOT and PEST model is just related to the main company. So business analysis was limited to the main company. You're not supposed to apply the business model for the competitive company, right? So business model, SWOT or PEST or business canvas model or Porter 5% model should only be applied to the main company, not to the competitor company. So we were applying this for the main company only. Why I'm emphasizing it again and again? You should be very much clear that business model is just limited to the main company. Okay, so the word count would be 600. It should not go beyond 600 word count. It should not be going beyond 600 word count for each model, right? Okay, for instance, for example, if you might have been some good points with you, you can like extend yourself to 650 word count, but try to make sure you're not going beyond this word count, because this is going to directly impact your ratio analysis, right? Okay, then you have conclusion and recommendation. So conclusion and recommendation has 400 word counts, right? And this is the very last portion of your chapter number 3. So remaining word counts should be allocated to your ratio analysis. You can find out what we have done. We would be explaining, or we would be allocating most of our word count to the ratio analysis, right? That's more important. Okay, now let's see. Once you are mentioning ratio analysis section, and in this ratio analysis section or ratio analysis part, I'm going to make it a heading again. It's the heading, and then we have revenue growth, and within this revenue growth, I am giving it heading number 2, and then I'm going to explain this revenue growth. So how you can analyze the revenue growth of a company? You need to analyze the most recent year of the main company, right? That is 2024, right? And in this para, you should be explaining the whole of 2024. Okay. Just for idea purpose, this para should be limited to 150 words only, right? Then you need to start the second para. We need to start the second para, right? Then we need to start second para. In this second para, we have to analyze the 2023 year end of the main company, right? And I believe that totals around 140 words, suppose, right? And then we have third para, and in that third para we need to analyze 2022 of the year end of the main company, right? And word count would be around 130 words, suppose, right? And this is how you need to plan out things. Rather just putting the words into the analysis ultimately landed you nowhere. So you need to make sure you have already planned it very well, right? And with that planning, you are capable of working it very well. Okay, now the last para or the fourth para of revenue growth, just one analysis, is related to the analysis of analysis of competitor companies' most recent year end, that is 2024, right? Apologies, right? You got this idea? And the word count could be either 130 words, suppose, or 120 words, or 140 words, right? But you have already planned your word count there, right? And then you have just last line that is for example, main company is doing exceptionally well compared to competitor company, right? In terms of revenue growth. So you need to ensure that these are few of the points that you need to consider while making the analysis for your company. So this is the overview that you have to follow across your ratio analysis, right? But again, you need to ensure that once you move to the profitability, to liquidity section, you might need to change this pattern. But again, this was the main pattern you need to focus upon, or you need to follow upon, right? Okay, you can see we have already added these two things here. And okay, Karen, you are exactly right. I'm just explaining you for this right now. Just give me a second. I'll be explaining it. Okay, now just look at this table of content. I'm going to update this table of content. I've done nothing, and you can see these two things are automatically part of it underneath it. That the thing that I've already updated in this episode. Again, if you are manually updating this table of content, it's going to be very, very difficult. Okay, now there's one question with us, that if we are focusing this part and we are looking into the 500 word count for the very first ratio. So the total word count would be 6,000 for just for 12 ratios. So you need to make sure that the very first ratio is most detailed. The very first ratio of your analysis is most of the time in much more detail, because in this ratio, you are actually explaining most of the things. When you move to the next ratio, for example, you'll be moving to the net profit ratio, or you'll be moving to, suppose, the gross profit margin ratio, right? In this ratio, you would be somehow explained most of the things in revenue growth. So your word count automatically would be limited to, suppose, 400 words only, right? And when you move to the net profit margin ratio, in that section, you have already explained most of the things in your revenue growth and net profit margin ratio. So could be possible that your word count would be limited to, suppose, 380 words only, right? So this is how your word count would be reducing. As you move on, your word count would be reducing ratio after ratio, right? But I'm giving you an idea that your first ratio was in much more detail. So I think you might be wrong in this case. Your first ratio might count 600 words. Your first ratio might count 600 words, and you'd be like confused. Okay, what I'm going to do? I might be reducing the word count for my first ratio. No, you have done very well this first ratio, and in this ratio, you have actually given an idea to the examiner that this is what our project would be, and this is the idea about the whole company, right? And afterwards, once you move on, you might need to refer that, as explained in revenue growth, this thing has impacted the net profit or the gross profit margin ratio as well. So that's how your word count would be reducing afterwards, right? Is it clear, or still there's confusion? I hope it's pretty much clear to you that how we would be following upon the projects and how we'll be looking into the ratios again and again, right? And then I'll be considering, or now one more thing. When you are looking into the revenue growth or any other ratio, how you can find out the data? This is another question that most of the students would ask. Now let's see. Where we have, this is what we have, the financials of AMD company. Okay, I'm just going to move to the financials of this company. Okay, these are the financials. So you can see the net revenue growth of the company was provided here, and I'm going to search it out where this net revenue was provided. Okay, then these are the net revenue values. Okay, now you can see the revenue was explained. What revenue comes for data center, from client, from gaming, from embedded something, right? And within this financials, you will be finding out that the company had already explained it somewhere. The company should have explained it somewhere. It has already explained that in which region the company has generated the revenue most. So you can use this data as well for the analysis part. So which company or which region is doing very well, or in which region the company is doing very well. Okay, now what about these things? I think this was explained over here. You can see the data center segment will primarily include artificial intelligence, these things, and I believe this was already explained above. Revenue allocated, remaining performance obligation as advertised amount, this. So these are the explanation. Those were provided for. Okay, this is something else. So this is the revenue part. Recognized revenue over time associated with custom product developed series accounted approximately 8% to 9% this for 3 years. Segment reporting, and you might have the information of these things in other parts of your financial statements. You'll be getting everything within your financials. So once you find out this information, you need to search this information over the internet to find out that you are referencing it from the external sources as well, right? But again, once you start working on it, I'll be explaining to you how we can make our research more easy. But again, most of your data was available within your financial statements, and over which you can provide the further explanation to about to the examiner, right? Okay, I'll be looking into further analysis and further things. Okay, I think these are the most of the information that we have available. So this was what we need to focus on. I think now this is going to be very easy for you guys to understand how we would be doing the analysis for that part, right? Okay, now I'll be moving to chapter number 3 part, the guidance for this chapter number 3, where most of the time, I think most of the things have already been provided. And I think there's nothing to mention further. Okay. Just one thing that's important. Make sure where was the Word document. Make sure that this each para must have at least two references. At least two references. Right? Maximum is like you have 4 or 5 references. But make sure that for the very first ratio, for example, for this revenue growth ratio, you would prefer to have at least 3 references for one para. 3 references for one para. But once you move to the next ratios, it could be possible that your references might be limited to 2 references only for one para. But this is how you need to assure that your research would be much more extensive, much more in-depth. So while searching for the references, you will be getting a lot of information that helps you attain the knowledge of the industry. You remember? We have already discussed in the very start that we need to understand, or we need to get an idea what was the knowledge of the industry. You need to attain the knowledge of the industry as well. Okay. Now, the most important thing, once you are doing the business analysis of AMD, for example, I am looking into, or I have searched into strength. For example, AMD is most advanced AI. AMD had most advanced AI tools, right? This is the strength of the company. You can see this is already mentioned here, right? About how AMD has advanced tools and technologies. So this is one of the reference you might have. Again, I'll be looking into something else. And okay, AI tools as its strengths. Okay. Now you can see this. Okay, there is some. You can see this reference exclusively. You need to find out this reference. And SWOT analysis was already done by investing.com. What was the name of the author? There's no name of the author. But again, this was done by a company, investing.com. And you'll be finding out a lot of other SWOT model analysis. Okay, I think there is, again, internet connectivity issue, I think. Just a minute. My voice is clear to all of you, or still it's like it's making any problem for you guys? My voice is clear? Hopefully it's clear. Anyone? I'm audible to all of you.
It is clear, sir.
Okay. Good to go. Okay. Now, you might be finding out a lot of websites when you are performing a business analysis, SWOT or PAST or 4 or 5 forces model. So there are a lot of websites that comes up in front of you like this. Don't use these websites as your references because it's straight plagiarism. You can use this website over which the AI tools or information about the AI tools was given. But you can never use this website as a reference because it's straight plagiarism. Make sure this is one of the most important things I want to explain, because it happened sometime when I was reviewing the project. It happened that I might not be able to review all the references. I might not be able to review all the references because I need to open all the references. Like I need to click and open the reference. So where were the references? Okay. I need to click this one and click edit source. What was the reference here? You can see it's SWOT analysis definition. It might be possible that the reference was skipped out of my mind, right? So it's going to be very difficult for me to gauge this thing, right? So you need to make sure that you should be avoiding any reference that where the analysis, the business analysis was done by the website for that specific company that you have selected, right? Okay. So we should not be like using such sort of references. Avoid. Make sure we're not using again, right? Okay, I'm going to close this website then because I don't need it. And then I think we are good till this point. Okay, now once you are done with your project, you need to move to the next, hold on, the next file that is named as a bibliography file. Okay, this file is, I normally consider this file as the very last file, but this is just one click away. Why I'm saying right now, because right now we were on a sheet where we can easily gauge it out. So once you are done with your project, this thesis, what you need to do is you need to just go at the end of this topic, for example, conclusion and recommendations, and you have done with conclusion recommendation and you have saved it. Sorry, apologies. And we're going to update this table of content again for your information purposes, and we can see that this conclusion recommendation was automatically part of this. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to list down all the references here. So how could I? So I'm going to make this, and apologies, I need to, like, under this references tab, I have this one tab with the name of bibliography. Just click this down and you find out a drop down in which you have three options. So I'm going to select this option, and the references that was already updated. I have updated just two references here, right? So both of these two, or all the references were there. What I need to do is I need to click these three buttons, just cut this thing and open another Word document, open up another Word document, right? And I'm going to paste those. This is how I can create the bibliography file very quickly, right? Very quickly. So I have already told you this bibliography file was just a click away, just a click away. So it's very easy to find out. So we have already gone through three files. Now we're left with just two files, a Word file and a PowerPoint presentation. So we're left with just two files, right? Okay, let's see what was the PowerPoint presentation file. First, I am looking into this PPT file, and then I'll be moving to the next file, which is named as the SLS or skill learning statement. So PowerPoint presentation file is somehow it's giving you a slight idea about your project, right? Okay, I think I have I have already created one file or one information for that perspective. I have to, must have an Excel file. So a presentation file, this is presentation, no, it's skill learning statement. Oh, this is PowerPoint presentation, right? Okay. So your PowerPoint presentation file is again not a difficult file. It's the easiest file you can create. This is actually summary of your RAF file that we have just completed. You can see now the whole project goes around the RAF file. Okay, so within that RAF file, your main focus would be chapter number 3. In your presentation, you should be mainly focusing on chapter number 3, right? In total, you have to create around 10 to 15 files. Despite the fact OBU will allow you to create 20 slides, but I recommend not 10, just limit yourself to 15 slides, right? Okay, because your presentation should not be more than 30 minutes. But again, I would suggest students to make sure that you have updated enough data that you can present that in 15 to 20 minutes, but normally you have a 30-minute time slot available for this presentation, right? Okay. Now, how you can explain the data. First is about introduction. Introduction up to the first 4 slides. Don't mention this primary or secondary data, just remove this. You need to first give the chapter number 1 selection criteria, chapter number 1 summary. So what would be the things that should be part of chapter number 1? So let's see, I would say that you would be providing idea behind, okay, don't mention this. You should be, your first slide would be table of content file, that what was the thing, or you can mention the first slide uh, as the selection of the company. So this selection of the company would be the first slide. Or you can say the first slide is title slide, apologies. The title slide is going to be the very first slide. Then the second slide is related to chapter number 1, company selection. Third slide is related to research objectives and research questions, right? And this is, I think, enough for the first 3 slides. Now, the fourth slide is straight away. In the fourth slide, you need to jump to chapter number 3. Within that chapter number 3, you should be providing the SWOT summary, the PESTEL summary, right? And once you are done with SWOT and PESTEL summary within your presentation slides, like I think you might have 2 slides for SWOT model and 3 slides for PESTEL model. So we have 5 slides. We have 3 slides for chapter 1. We have 5 slides for business analysis, right? And we might have like 8 slides for ratios, for financial analysis. So how many slides do we have right now? 13, 14, 15, 16. And we have 1 slide for conclusion and recommendation. So we have around like 8, 16, 17 slides in total. You might limit yourself to the slides, to number of slides, or you can reduce the number of slides. It depends upon you guys, right? How effectively you can present your data. But normally, this is the way out you can present your slides. Consider that within your PowerPoint presentation, you're not supposed to like explain your chapter number 2, because it's not required. It's something, it's just explaining the models. You're not supposed to explain the models. You are providing the actual analysis of the models, business model, financial models. So that's where you need to do, or that's where you need to provide your findings of the project within your presentation, right? First 3 slides are related to what you have done. So this is how effectively you're presenting your data, right? So PowerPoint presentation files are done. Once you're done with this, make sure you are copying your charts, the graph you have created in your Excel file. You would be replicating those graphs within your PowerPoint presentation as well. Once you are providing a brief summary about revenue growth, so you should be replicating the graph into that slide as well. Now, presentation is all about you, how you are going to present your data. That's purely depending upon you guys, right? Okay, now the last slide, and afterwards I'm going to wind up the session because I think it's gone beyond of it's going to be very lengthy session. I was not expecting, or I don't have a plan to go into that much detail, but then I consider that it's better to explain everything in one go so that everyone is clear about what we are going to do. Rather, we are going to have another session and another session and another session. I would try to make sure that I'm summing up all these things within one session, and afterwards we would be going to have one-on-one sessions with us once you start working on it. So rather we're going to have a combined session again. We will be going to have a one-on-one session that is, I think, more productive and more specific to the student, right? So this session is effectively for all the students. And once you started working on it, we were going to conduct one-on-one sessions based on my convenience as well as your convenience, right? Okay, then skill learning statement is another document that consists of 2,000 words, right? In this statement, we will be explaining what you have learned and how this learning is going to help you out in your future, right? So this is what the idea of skill learning statement is. Okay, what would be you considering? There were 2 basic questions related to your skill learning statement. How have you developed personally and professionally as a result of undertaking the research analysis project. So what you need to consider are how the skills have been developed, what new skills you have acquired, and how you have developed them. Process. What new skills? For example, you have developed new skills of Excel sheet, working on an Excel sheet. So how you develop them? You have developed presentation skills. How you have developed? You while working on your PowerPoint presentation, you have developed that. You have developed confidence. You have developed verbal communication. You have developed oral communication while communicating with your mentor. You have developed well explanation, right? So all of the you have developed like critical thinking. You have developed time management skills. So many skills were there that you have developed. So how you have developed, you need to explain those within your skill learning statement. Then the challenges you faced and how you overcome. What were the challenges that you have faced while working on the RAP file? The main document that we have already discussed. The main document. So I have told you the whole project, like it revolves around your RAP file. That's the main file. That's what a chunk of your time it took, and the most of your working would be related to that. So what were the challenges that you have faced while working on the project and how you have overcome those? For example, researching skills. That was a skill developed, or research specific item was very challenging for me, and I have looked into much more details. I went into much more in-depth analysis of the specific thing, and this is how I have developed it, right? So this was question number one. You had to have assured that minimum word count would be 900 words, 900 words for each question, and maximum word count would be 1100 words, not more than that, right? For each question. So 900 words for question number two, 900 words for question number, sorry, one, right? What is question number two? How will the experience of RAP help you in future? How it's going to help you in future? Number one, made you more employable and capable. What are the new skills that you have developed, and how these skills will make you more employable, more capable, more in line with the hiring strategy of the employers. Like you have developed the word skills, the Microsoft Office skills that were required by most of the employer nowadays. You have developed analytical skills. You have developed the critical thinking skills. You have developed researching skills. So all of these skills are very much considered by the employers nowadays. Again, might influence your future plans in short term and long term. How this project or how this qualification is going to impact your future. For example, if you're planning to move to UAE, now UAE is considering a bachelor degree, a minimum prerequisite for a skilled worker employment visa, or you might be planning for MPhil or MS qualification further. For that, you need to have a bachelor degree, and this is going to fulfill that criteria. Or you might going to pursue CPE or CFA in US that has a prerequisite or that requires graduation qualification, and with this OBU degree, one of your target was met. So this is how you need to explain what were your future plans and how this qualification is going to impact your future plans, right? Okay, this is what and how you can update your skill learning statement. I hope most of the things have already been covered up, and I have covered everything that was required for your project, and I have considered most important areas. Those should be important while working on your project, and you should consider while making an analysis of your project. If there is any question or concern right now related to any part of your project, do let me know. And if you think that you would be approaching me later, you have my WhatsApp number. You can contact me directly for any question or concern. I would be available to you guys surely. And again, make sure the review process goes like once you are done with certain portion of your work. For example, you are done with the chapter number one, just send it to me. I'll be reviewing it or you are done with your Excel sheet, I'll be reviewing it again, and this is how our review goes again and again, right? Okay. Bibliography part, again, I'm just going to explain it. You have, like, once you are done with your RAP file, just go at the very end of your RAP file, and under this head references section, you need to select from this bibliography drop down. You can select any of these. For example, I'm going to hit this one. Again, now the label was changed, or I'm going to select the last work cited. So you have the same, just heading was different, I think, right? So what you need to do is just hit these three buttons, Control X, cut this data, and open up the new file with the name of bibliography. And what you need to do is you just need to, like, paste it here, and all the references will automatically be pasted here. And this is what you can save it, this file, as a bibliography, right? So this is how you need to perform, or you need to complete your bibliography. Right? Any question up to now? Any further questions? I am considering there are no further questions, guys. Thank you so very much, all of you, for joining in. Hopefully, you have cleared most of the part. Again, if you have any question or concern related to the topic we have already covered, do let me know. Surely I'll always be there to help you out. Okay, do we have any other questions? Will this session be up? Yes, it's uploaded on your LMS section, and it is it will be available on YouTube as well. So you can access it from anywhere. And all of these topics were already available on all of these documents are available on your LMS section. Okay, we have another question. Do we need to prepare a report using Word and Excel and then prepare PPT based on the same? I don't get your point. First thing is you need to create an Excel file. The sequence goes in this way. First, you need to create an Excel file. Then you need to work on your Word file, that is the RAP file. And once you're done with the RAP file, you need to move to the bibliography file. You need to create the bibliography file. And after you have created a bibliography file, move to PowerPoint. And then in the last, you need to create another file with the name of skill learning statement. So you have in total 5 files. I hope I have answered your question. If not, then you can further explain it. I can answer your question again. Any further question, anyone? Do we have any other questions, everyone? I am hoping that we have no other questions. So hopefully we'll be meeting in our next session. It could be either one-on-one session, or it could be, yes, you can still use them, but before selecting any main company or a competitor company, I request you guys to just give a heads up to me. I'll be looking into it whether this is suitable company or not. Again, I am not going to suggest or guide anyone in the process of selection of a company. Selecting main company or competitor company is basically the responsibility of a student. I'm just to give you